Marvel's Fantastic Four hits the big screen this summer, but did you know The Thing had its own animated spotlight long before MCU stardom, apart from the rest of the Fantastic Four? Yep, we're diving into the bizarre, wonderfully weird Hanna-Barbera's The Thing from 1979. Let's clobber this topic, yous guys. Now, Hanna-Barbera is known for classics like The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and Yogi Bear. But all throughout their history, they also dabbled with superheroes. In fact, Hanna-Barbera produced the first Fantastic Four animated series in September 1967 to September 1968. Then DePatie Freleng produced the second Fantastic Four cartoon, which ran 13 episodes from September 9th to December 16th, 1978. This was the series that features Herbie the Robot instead of Human Torch, as Johnny was slated for a live-action movie that never panned out. That brings us to 1979. Enter Fred and Barney Meet The Thing. That's right, our boy Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, was inexplicably thrown into a show with Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. The first half of the program was a rerun from the new Fred and Barney show. The second half featured a teenage version of Benjamin Grimm, alias The Thing, from the Fantastic Four, a nerdy high school student with the option to turn into Big Blue Eyes magically at will. With the power of friendship and some truly questionable storytelling, Benji yells "Thing Ring, do your thing," and transforms into everyone's favorite orange rock monster. There's no sign of the rest of the Fantastic Four in this iteration. However, Ben has a team made of new supporting characters as well as some familiar foes. There's Professor Harkness, who created a pair of rings for the Thing that could turn him into a normal human when the rings were touched. However, there was an unforeseen side effect. Instead of turning back into an adult, Grimm turned into a teenager. Ben, now going by the nickname Benji, becomes friends with Professor Harkness's daughter, Kelly Harkness. Professor Harkness then started to search for a way to turn Thing back into an adult. He was voiced by John Stevenson of Scooby-Doo villain fame. Kelly eventually learned that Benji was really the Thing. She was the Chloe Sullivan of the show, being the blonde voice of reason and keeper of Ben's secrets. She's voiced here by Noelle North. You may recognize her voice from cartoons like Gem, where she played Video. North also voiced Smurfs in the Hanna-Barbera cartoon and Kala and Cubby Gummy on Disney's Gummy Bears. Betty Harkness is Kelly's uppity prima donna sister. Of all the Harkness clan, she's the one I most believe to be Agatha Harkness in disguise, creating a hex to cause grief and trap Ben Grimm in a Scooby-Doo style cartoon. Betty is voiced by Marilyn Schreffler. She goes on dates with Ronald Radford. Because Ronald Radford was rich, he was very snobbish and believed that he was better than everybody else. Ronald attended Centerville High School with Benji Grimm, Kelly Harkness, Betty Harkness, and the Yancey Street Gang. To get back at Ronald, Benji would often play harmless pranks on him as the Thing. Ronald is often called Fancy Pants by the members of the Yancey Street Gang as a derogatory nickname. He was voiced by the great John Irwin, who recently passed away on December 20th, 2024. Irwin was best known for voicing characters from the Filmation animated universe like He-Man and Reggie Mantle. Familiar foes to Ben Grimm from the comics, the Yancey Street Gang, appear in this series. We'd seen parts of them in prior Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four cartoons. Their first and only appearance in the 1967 animated series was in the episode It Started on Yancey Street. Here they merely had cameos at the beginning and end of the episode. However, only their arms were shown from their apartment windows, and they only yelled at Ben Grimm and threw objects at him. Later in the Thing segments of Fred and Barney Meet the Thing, they were now a trio of bikers consisting of Spike, Hanrahan, Stretch, and Turkey, and were also regular characters. The three took pleasure in bullying Ben Grimm, Kelly and Betty Harkness, and Ronald Radford. Miss Twilly is the principal of Centerville High School. She's the show's Mr. Belding, the overly attentive and oft-confused authority figure. She's also voiced by Marilyn Schreffler. Miss Twilly would often do this thing where she would stutter and mix up her words, which was a thing Hanna-Barbera would do to scholarly characters. The professor from the first Scooby-Doo Batman crossover episode also did this. So what's the legacy of this funky Thing show? Well, it's a fascinating footnote in Marvel's history. And with the Fantastic Four joining the MCU, you've got to wonder, will we see an Easter egg nodding to this wild cartoon? Maybe a throwaway line about magic rings? Doubtful. So there you have it, the strange, magical, and hilarious history of the Thing cartoon. Let me know in the comments, do you think Betty Harkness is secretly Agatha? and which version of Ben Grimm is your favorite. Don't forget to like and subscribe and clobber that bell icon to stay in the conversation with all the latest pop culture deep dives. Until next time, it's Dennis Delves and Discusses, signing off.